it stays on because Inspire effects do snowball. Every single time you use your hero power, you get 2 additional attack to use however you want.
Savage Combatant is a card that's not really for this matchup. It's a card it's particularly strong against other minion-based decks. It can be good against Patron Warrior because it allows you to use your hero power to clear a full health patron. But in this matchup, what you want is your most resilient minions. You want things like Piloted Shredder. You want things like Druid of the Claw that are difficult for your opponent to remove, whereas Savage Combatant just dies straight up to Deathspite.
Absolutely. So he's probably not going to keep it. If he had a Shredder instead, he would keep that. I wouldn't be too surprised if he kept it. He does have the Wild Growth already, so it's a nice turn 4. But yeah, just throw it away.
Unsurprisingly, he does keep the 2 ramp cards in his hand, and he will be off to the races. And that's a couple of great cards in Trump's hand as well.
Fantastic, in fact.
If he could have chosen the cards, those might have just been
Actually, that may be the opening hand. You'd literally just say, this is what I want. It is... Yeah, the Darnassus Aspirant, Wild Growth, and then Harrison Jones, obviously excellent against the weapon-heavy warrior deck. It was very weapon-heavy last game for Trump, but it looks like Coreia does have a Deathspite of his own, which that Harrison Jones may come in handy against.
Right, and so the Darnassus Aspirant being able to ramp up is pretty effective. The second Wild Growth is a little awkward.
Less exciting. It doesn't really have a great window, at least in his current curve, to play it, but... being able to get to playing your big minions quickly is one of the major ways that Druid tends to overcome his opponents.
Yep, Alexander Armor Smith respects a potential Cruel Taskmaster, which would have allowed the Armor Smith to easily take out the Aspirant.
And that Fire War Axe is a pretty good draw from Coreia. It allows him to clear the Aspirant this turn rather than having to wait for a future turn. But Trump still has, because of the Wild Growth, he has curve here with the Piloted Shredder regardless.
Right, that's why coining out the Darnassus Aspirant on turn 1 is okay, because you do have those Wild Growth follow-ups. Coreia, in the meantime, because he has the Fiery War Axe, doesn't need to switch to a Deathspite to go to damage.
Ooh.
And Ancient Argent Watchman.
Argent Watchman, yes.
Kind of an awkward
Forgive me,
Shredder
it is
pilot.
a new card. I know that is one of the memes, but we're still kind of shaky with some of those terms.
So that's kind of an awkward Shredder pilot for Trump because he can only attack with it if he does use his hero power. It's just like an Ancient Watcher, it can't attack, but if you do use your hero power, it can attack that turn. So he can't actually remove anything with it unless he chooses to invest 2 mana into his hero power.
And nothing seems that spectacular here. The opening hand was really nice. He has the Harrison Jones, but there's no weapon, so the Harrison won't be coming down here.
Perhaps you Wild Growth so that way almost guaranteed to drop any minion you have on the following turns. It feels like everything else is really inefficient. Savage Ward is one of your best tools to end the game. Big Game Hunter is one of your best for tempo, as well as Harrison.
I would expect him to either go with the Swipe or the Roar here. You don't want the Control Warrior to be drawing multiple cards from the Acolyte.
That's also fair. I mean, Savage Roar does allow you to hero power as well, and then activate the Argent Watchman.
Yeah, so he does go with the swipe to take down the Acolyte and do 1 more damage to that Armor Smith. Not really the greatest there. He can still use his hero power to take that out, which would allow the Watchman to attack, though.
I mean, for now, it's just kind of sitting there, observing the game, just like a Watchman does.
Out. He's just watching, man.
And Coreia even takes it out for him. So, job done. It got the attack.
This will let Trump potentially use this Harrison Jones to clear the weapon, and because there's only 1 health left in that Armor Smith, the Death Rattle of Deathspite will kill the Armor Smith as well.
That's perfect for Trump.
Not to mention it challenges pretty much anything that comes out the following turn.
Yeah, he can kill a Shield Maiden or the Sylvanas, both of which we see in Coreia's hand. Coreia choosing just to go with the Shield block. Because the Harrison Jones did get damaged by the Whirlwind effect from the Deathspite Death Rattle, it can be executed right here, which is how Coreia chooses to spend his turn.
What he does do, though, is give initiative to Trump. So if he picked up a 7-mana minion, this would be the time where he would be a little bit uncomfortable with the thought of his opponent being able to do that so aggressively.
Shredder's okay here. He would much rather have picked up something like Ancient of Lore. It's just his best card to draw at this point in the game. Pretty much onward.
Yeah, but still a decent draw. If he was to top deck something like an Innervate, he might have ended up just passing the turn after hero power.
Oh, that bash is also a pretty good response, potentially.
I have no time
Though
for
Sylvanas, because of the order of the Death Rattles of these 2 minions, the minion that can play first has the Death Rattle effect go off first. So Sylvanas, if it does die, even if the Shredder dies as well, will take the whatever comes out of the Shredder.
Until it is silenced, there is a Keeper of the Grove, usually for cards like Sylvanas. Trump also going to Wrath. See what he can get off the draw.
Speaking of bad draws, there's that innervate you were just talking about.
It might enable him to do the double roar combo on later turns, so that might be good. Keeper of the Grove here, it doesn't get any better than this. Sylvanas there.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's a good Shredder pilot. That's definitely better than the last one.
A pilot Shredder with Divine Shield is a pretty great card for 4 mana.
And we do see that Trump's been holding onto this Wild Growth, the second one that we saw him pick up early on. When he does reach 10 mana, he can trade in that Wild Growth for a new card, which is why he decided not to use it in any of these stages to just ramp his mana faster.
Yeah, double Brawl from Coreia.
Yeah, that's 2 ways to deal with a full board.
Yeah, he doesn't even have an opportunity to use one right now. It's going to be very clunky to use those.
There's Druid of the Claw.
Yeah, pretty useful. Allows him to put up some, a pretty decent-sized minion onto the board. One thing that's been really troubling is, like you said, Trump hasn't been able to efficiently use his mana for several turns now, and that does give an opportunity for Warrior to stabilize. It's at 35 health. That's way out of the combo range.
And he does just go cat form. He wants to get damage in right away. The important thing here for Trump, in terms of getting the damage right now rather than the more substantial minion, is that he's able to reduce Coreia's armor total, which is important because of Shield Slam. It's not just his life total. His armor total is enabling Shield Slam to potentially kill the big minions that Trump might play later.
Yeah, but the only way to really get punished for this charge is if Coreia had the second Death Spite.
Right.
In that case, it would be an easy way to clear it off over the Taunted Bear, but...
Right. But he would have used Death Spite the previous turn because there was many opportunities to. Instead, he used Bash, so it was like, all right, yeah.
And that's one of the things that when you're playing at this level, you really want to figure out not only what are the cards my opponent could have in his deck, but what, based on the plays my opponent has made, are the likely cards in their hand.
Yeah, and one Death Spite did go to the museum on an early turn.
All right, well, Shield Minion dropped down. It is the biggest minion. Trump still only has 24 damage, or 25 with the hero power.
Ooh, speaking of big minions, there's Ancient of War.
Yeah, that's a huge card.
Uprooter Riot.
Uprooter Riot with the big game hunter waiting on the other side. Absolutely.
This may give Coreia potentially an instance that he can get value out of one of those brawls if Trump does choose to play as Ancient and then just go face with, with his 2 minions.
Let's see what he finds.
He could possibly play the Ancient and then use his Innervate to trade off his Cat and use his hero power to kill the Shield Maiden, but I imagine he'll probably just go to the face.
Yeah, I think because this is aggressive, potential lethal setup on the other end.
He does have the Force of Nature plus Savage Roar, which does a lot of damage when you do have a big board, and there is a Shield Slam for Coreia, though.
So now he can brawl and guaranteed kill whatever comes out on the other end by brawling and Shield Slam, but
we'd have to attack into the Ancient of War first, which does mean that there's no great brawl outcome for him.
I believe he's so far behind that just go for the YOLO Brawl here without attacking into the Ancient of War. Just hope to win the 1 out of 4.
Really? Wow.
I would just go for it. It seems so desperate right now.
Well, if you win the 1 out of 4, that's great. And there's only a 1 out of 4 that you can't still clear whatever comes out with Shield Slam.
True.
You give yourself a best case scenario that's very good, and your worst case scenario is actually very unlikely as well.
Anything else but a Brawl here would be kind of shocking because he does have 2 of those, and using them later on might be really tricky.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and he does choose to go for the YOLO Brawl.
I like it. Scenarios here.
I like this.
Oh, it is the worst case scenario!
No!
Ancient of
Disaster.
War. I mean, it's the biggest thing on board. You'd think that just it would win in a fight.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank goodness the Ancient of War wasn't uprooted either.
Yeah, no, that would have been even bigger.
And there's a lore
and
for
Trump with the
Wow.
best possible draw.
This is the card that gives so much pain and turmoil to the Warriors in this match specifically because the Ancient of War such a big threat while drawing more ammo.
Yeah, this is huge. These 2 turns have suddenly gone from Trump being in a good position to Trump being in an absolutely dominant position.
It's just amazing what just happened. Trump is so far ahead right now. It's going to be almost impossible for Coreia to turn it around.
And here I think he's debating whether he wants to hero power or play the Darnassus Aspirant. The Darnassus Aspirant would leave him potentially open to there being a small minion that could be left in play if the opponent does have a second brawl. And Trump is a player who does a lot of research on his opponents. He has watched all of Coreia's games in this tournament, and he likely knows that Coreia does play 2 copies of Brawl.
Right. Not to mention that he's also counting like how much damage do I have if I use Savage Roar and Force of Nature the following turn. I believe he should have 28 damage.
From Force Roar plus these 2?
Yes. Although actually he has an Innervate, so maybe even 29 damage.
Yes.
So even if his opponent armors up, he should be able to kill him, although the Bash could change it.
Yeah, the bash does mean that not only can Coreia potentially increase his life total, he can also use bash plus armor up plus shield slam. It's not even particularly exciting.
Yeah. I mean, you also could Grom and Shield Slam his Grom to remove the Ancient of War.
Yeah, that's a possible option here. It's a very real option too. It's obviously very inefficient card-wise and mana-wise.
Yeah, and you're using a removal that normally you want to be very good with being able to keep, and that's where the second Ancient of Lore really hurts.
And it looks like he may be going with exactly this.
Man.
And this is rough. It does leave the Grom on the board because it only has 1 damage from Shield Slam and the 5 damage there. So a second Innervate, not what Trump wants to see. He does have Big Game Hunter that can clear this Grom, and pretty easy use of all of his mana if he plays that and the Ancient of Lore as well.
Right. I mean, he also can save Big Game Hunter if he feels like there's more big threats, but what Big Game Hunter does provide also is a 4/2 body onto the board.
Oh,
second
dear.
Savage Roar, I think.
Trump could do like just 6,000 damage from hand, I think.
Yes.
Around that, yes.
And 6,000 is bigger than 25. Or and 20 in this case, because Trump is certainly going to hit him down to that. And Coreia could be on his last turn here. Almost certainly, unless he's drawing some opportunity to have a miracle turn, but I don't really see it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing here even contests the board right now, let alone deals with the double combo in Trump's hand. This is going to be Trump's game from this point.
Yeah, literally a 4-card combination. 5 if you want to get squeezing that extra hero power. And even if he played like the world's biggest taunt that had 1,000 health and damage, I mean, he also could Big Game Hunter.
Well, if it has
and Innervate double combo, right? So it's like
he could do that, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, Trump has the Force of Nature Savage Roar in his hand. The Force of Nature makes the 3/2/2 treants that can attack the turn they come into play. Savage Roar gives all your creatures +2 attack. He can then use Innervate in the second Savage Roar to give everything +4 total attack, which is just, like we said, about 1,000 damage.
yeah, rounding up.
Rounding
up. Coreia kind of he doesn't know that his opponent has the combo for sure, so he's wondering what's his best chance of surviving if this wasn't the case.
And that's what you need to do when you're in this kind of position here. You need to recognize, okay, how do I win this game? In many cases, you have to just recognize, okay, my opponent, if he has combo, I lose. It's fine. But you just try and put yourself in a position that maybe you can win. But Coreia's sitting back.
He knows.
He knows.
It's time. It's about that time. Force of Nature comes out from Trump. Savage Roar. That alone is enough. We'll see how Trump chooses
will he Savage Roar again?
Well played.
That is the question.
I think he's just calculating whether this is enough before he...
It is.
It's plenty. He's just thinking about it. Everyone's cheering for the extra BM, but that is not how a mayor treats a citizen. Game 4 goes to Trump.
So we will see the epic Control Warrior versus Control Warrior Game 5.
That's right.